Okay, we are with dazzling Aditi Rao Hydari, a lady in red. Let's talk about Taj. Yes, so Taj ani maatladagane that we definitely go back to Mughal-e-Azam, the epic,
Yes.
Anarkali, the classic, and the Madhubala, the beautiful ever. Okay, and we are with the beautiful Aditi Rao Hydari. So, what is your first take, when this role came to you?
Just hearing you say these two names in the same sentence is only making me want to faint with excitement. It's a big honor just to have that name attached to my life and my work. And honestly, when I was first told that some people are making a show on the Mughals and they want me to play Anarkali, I just laughed and I was like, bye guys. Not at all. And I was shooting Hey Sanamika at that time, but I love the perseverance and the conviction of our creative team, and they're all not from here. They said, let's do a meeting, and obviously I didn't want to be rude. So we did a meeting, and they had seen Mehrunisa they had seen Sanjay sir's work, and they loved it, and they loved Mehrunisa, and they were like, we cannot think of anybody else apart from you as our Anarkali, and we're not going to take no for an answer. And I was just like, but I don't want to, why should Mughal-e-Azam be remade? It's too perfect a film, and Madhubalaji is too iconic, an actress and a persona.
And some classics are, better not to be touched.
Absolutely. And I keep saying that Anarkali must have thanked Madhubalaji for playing her, because she made it like so timeless. And then they said, okay, but at least hear our story because we are not making Mughal-e-Azam. And then when they narrated it, I was very excited because it was such a fresh and new perspective. And also it was a very human story. And they had humanized these larger than life iconic characters. And Taj is not a love story. The love story is a very important part of it because Anarkali shakes up a kingdom, and she's such an important part of Prince Salim's life and his love and everything that he does. But it's not a love story, it's a family drama.
Okay, is it something like, from different angle do you want to portray this character, or the story being told? Is it different?
The story is also a different perspective, and the character is also etched out very differently. Obviously, there are a lot of core qualities that they have kept, because there is so much legend surrounding Anarkali. She's not a historical figure, she's more a mythical character. And when people speak about her, she's this ethereal beauty. She was so fragile, and she was talented, and she was, there are stories about Anju Modi, who did the costume. She used to say when Anarkali used to eat, you could see the food because her skin was so translucent.
Okay,
people speak like that about Anarkali.
Is it the reason, they chose you?
I have no idea. I'm just happy they did. But so they speak like that about her. But the way that they wrote her, of course, all this is there in the writing. The musician who plays for Anarkali, when she dances, he can't see because nobody should see Anarkali. And she was so precious that nobody could see her. I think that what they brought into it, and what I also wanted to bring into it myself, was the fact that Anarkali in the 16th century was not iconic for herself. For herself, she was just a girl who fell in love with a prince and went to the ends of the earth to stand by that love, was fearless, took on every challenge and stood by loyalty, and took the punishment for that love. And I felt that it was so important to bring out this part of Anarkali.
And she didn't regret for that ever?
Not at all. She stood by it and she chose it, in many ways. Of course, her situation was such that she possibly didn't have a choice, but she took on whatever she got fearlessly. And I thought that was so cool. And there was space to bring out that. The other thing that I thought was so cool about Anarkali and the way that they wrote her, was apart from the innocence and the, the fragility of the character, and there is a poeticism about Anarkali, but I thought that Anarkali's dialogues and when she speaks, it's so honest and so dagger sharp, and I thought that was very cool. And it gives you something else, like something to hang on to, and something, to...
So what all these qualities resonates you, like when you think about you playing this character?
With me?
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know, but what I thought was interesting was a girl in the 16th century who was so fearless. I in fact requested my director Ron. I was like, when the emperor is in front of me, I don't want to lower my eyes, because what makes Anarkali such a special girl is that she is so pure and so honest, that's what makes her fearless enough to look the emperor in the eyes. And I was allowed to do that, because in front of the emperor you will lower your eyes or cover your head or whatever now, and they allowed me to do this. And I think that in a way that maybe what I like, and I tend to like characters like that, is the pure-heartedness and the innocence of characters, but characters who are also gutsy and stand by
yes what they believe, actually.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
And in this case, this girl dreams of freedom, and she fights for her freedom till the very end. She never loses hope. I love that about her.
How was it like playing next to a legend like Naseeruddin Shah?
At first I was super nervous, but I think when I walked onto set, somebody like Nasir sir, because he's a legend and because he's such a great artist, he also knows that all of us are nervous in front of him. So he immediately made us, me and all of us in fact, feel very comfortable. And he himself, like a kid, used to constantly keep doing his lines and, reworking the scene and seeing how we could do it well and discussing. And he was a team player. And that immediately makes you feel like, after so much experience, he's so humble and so hardworking, and it makes you feel good.
And the words, dialogues, like so intense, like when he said that Anarkali mat bhulna tum kiski ho.
I promise you, every reaction on my face at that point is real. He makes it very real.
So did you have any apprehension, like when you said that makers are not from India, and the line?
Not at all. That is one of the reasons I was so excited to do it, because I'm a huge Sanjay Leela Bhansali fan and a huge Mani Sir fan, and there are certain people who have that kind of vision, in our country. There are other directors also who like to, who have a kind of vision and who are really amazing. And I felt like, even today I will say that, the way that Sanjay sir, tells certain stories, especially these kinds of epic, dramas, I can only imagine it in, that way. And then when you hear a story like this, and the reason it is the way it is because somebody from the outside is looking at it. And here are people who are so passionate to tell the story, and their vision is actually to tell a global story, in many ways. Because it is a story, ultimately it's a family drama, right? That's how they've told it. And it's a story about succession, it's a story about love, it's a story about betrayal, envy, it's all human emotions. And they have dealt with it like that. And I think that's what made it different. Otherwise, I would always say Sanjay sir. I would only think of Sanjay sir. And because they're from outside, it just made it, I guess.
Aditi, what do you think? Like,
less daunting.
Okay, wonderful. And the stories that, that are, coming to you as like a drama, periodic dramas in specific, why do you think, they come to you? Because, some people look at that. Yes, of course, that we love to see you that, in a grand attire and that, a colonial look of Aditi Rao Hydari. But what do you think? Because some people look at these characters like they are very tragic.
They can be sometimes, yes.
Yeah. But what is your take on that?
Anarkali, in fact, when she was narrated to me like a tragic. She said she's a ethereal, tragic, mystic. What do they call her? Mythical heroine. And I was like, you know, we view her as tragic, but in her life at that time, as a young girl, a young woman, she was full of hope and dreams. And she had the courage to stand by her love. So there's a lot more to her than just her tragedy. So I viewed it like that. And about period dramas and why they come to me, I think I love them.
Okay, we love that too.
I love them. I want to do them. Also, I can want as much, but people have to accept me like that. It has to fit correctly. Directors have to see me like that, and I'm very grateful that they do. And honestly, I thank Sanjay sir, because he's the one who showed me like that for the first time. Of course, Mani sir, but that was not that much period. That was 90s. And then Sanjay sir as Mehrunisa, and I think it's because of that, including the makers of Taj. They saw that and they called me. And I guess
Did you ever thought, like, come out of that box and, do some other characters as well? Because,
I do, na?
of
I
course
do.
you do.
I do.
Of course you do. But, when we think about Aditi, that, we think about those characters, what you did with, Sanjay, Maniratnam sir, and now this Taj. Okay. So what all the other surprises, what the viewer...
I have more period dramas coming out. I have Jubilee. It's just been announced. Vikramaditya Motwani's show. It's set in the film industry. That's also period. But that's a whole different period. There is Hira Mandi with Sanjay sir, who I, as you know, love very much. And I'm very blessed to be working with these directors who I love and respect so much. And I get to learn from them every day. And I feel very lucky. And honestly, the work that I've done in Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam has been quite different.
True.
I have gotten to play a girl from a little village on a bicycle in a half sari, which I love to do also. And Samira, Sammohanam. So many, so many films. Mishkin Sir's film, Mani Sir's film, of course.
Samudram, of course.
Ma Samudram. Yeah. So as long as an artist, I'm getting to play, I'm happy.
If I'm asked you, like, what is close to you?
You mean which kind of role? It's like asking a parent to pick which is your favorite child.
Okay. You have so many kids now.
Yeah. I think, it's not even about genre or role or whatever. It's really about the story, about the director, about what you're doing in that film. I do tend to be partial to romances. I love romances. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And the moment you said as to this project and where they announced this project, everybody is so keen, like looking at the costume what Aditi is wearing and the designs, like what they're designing, everything, like people are so keen about this. And will it make you a little tense about like outcome?
No, not at all, because I knew that we had a really good team. We had one of India's most incredible designers, Anju Modi, doing costumes for me, and she read the script before I did. She made notes before I made notes, because at that time I was shooting in Chennai, and she had such a clear vision of what Anarkali should be. And then of course she sat with me and she told me what she felt, and she did referencing from miniature paintings. And everybody imagines maybe Anarkali to be very, very grand, but here, because we were showing her as a very fragile, innocent, captive girl, Anju Modi wanted to keep the costumes very delicate and very soft, and the jewelry more minimal, no makeup, hair messy.
Do you really think you need makeup?
I love to not wear makeup, and thankfully all my directors don't want me in makeup. So I am very happy. I don't take time to get ready. Hair takes time, but I get ready very fast. In fact, all the ADs on set also, I'm like, guys, you know, you can give me my call time according to how fast I get ready. And they always laugh. They're like, okay, okay, done, done, done.
So what is
We have
Aditi's
real
take?
jewelry also.
Is it?
Yeah.
You got them from...
Golecha Jewelers did the jewelry, and like, you know how Anarkali is captive in lock and key? I used to roam around with bodyguards all the time. I used to feel like this is like real life Anarkali. So everybody surrounding me all the time.
Yeah. So how is it like Aditi's take on like, choosing actors, playing next to them, because you play with seniors as well as the newcomers. Aditi really don't care.
No, of course I care. I care very much, whether it's whether it's very experienced actors or whether it's very new actors. But the thing is, all actors, if they love what they do, then they give you the kind of love and energy to be better, and it doesn't, I feel like, of course, I feel very blessed to have worked with some really incredible people. But even the newer actors, like in Sufiyum Sujatiyum, Dev, it was his first film. But like, we have to make the scene good together. Whether it's a senior actor or it's a new person, we have to be a good team together, So it's really about that. And it's the same with directors, right? Whether it's a legendary director or a new director, we have to work together and we have to have the humility to do that.
But sometimes, like, director may able to convince you for some characters, okay? But, they're probably very good in narrating you. But sometimes, like, they fail to, exhibit on the screen. Because it is a challenge, that's the major difference between the first timers and the experienced directors. Of course, that for any director who is experienced with the first time, yes, of course.
It's not even about experience or lack of experience. Sometimes that's why filmmaking is such a magical thing, but also so every single department, every single team, till the day that film releases, has to work in sync and work together to to make the vision come alive. And sometimes I feel, people so quickly dismiss a film, and I understand that they are, they have a right to do that, but it's like just what goes into making a film when the heart and the soul, but ultimately, yes, it has to work and it has to touch people and it has to touch your heart and all of that. But I feel like sometimes it does happen. Directors have a vision and their vision is very beautiful. And sometimes the film doesn't turn out as was expected, or the result is not as was expected. The film might be also good, but the result is not when expected. But I feel like sometimes when a film is good and the result is not so good, the film will still go on to be a classic and timeless. Sometimes the film doesn't turn out so good. And that is just, of course, it's very sad because we all put a lot of love into it, and but it happens. I always feel the only control we have is our love and our intention, and the honesty of why we are telling the story. After that, it's the audience's baby. So audience is always king.
So you just like, it's like wearing a skin, like, when you play the characters. After that, success and failure, of course, as you say, that, audience will decide. Then, how Aditi will take that, success and failure?
Of course, you feel bad because you want to connect to people and you want them to love you. Honestly, for me, personally, even in the films that have not connected like they should have connected, audiences were very nice to me. And so were the critics. I have to say that. And I have to thank them for it. It really means a lot because there's something, to look forward to. But it also means then you can't retweet what they're saying because they're saying nice things about you but not about somebody else.
But I haven't come across a single tweet or anything, whatsoever, like, they talk negative about Aditi. Touch wood, I don't have
touch
wood. Yes.
But I would just say that they're very kind and they love me and they know that I love them.
Yeah, the trailer that, on the way that I was coming, I just looked at the Taj, then the Jubilee. It's like 47 million views.
Whoa!
Okay.
I didn't see
Don't
that.
you think that, expectation has been like, bars have been raised? Yes.
Much more than I expected. And very, very honestly, there's always, with historical dramas, etc. And this is little history, lot of creation. You don't know how people will take it, but this is a huge success. And especially with Anarkali also, I really feel I must be having some blessings from the heavens.
And do you know something that you have evolved, or you have come to the stage where there is something on your shoulder, like the movies, what you're saying yes, and coming up, and people are turning up because there is Aditi.
I hope so. But it's not me, it's a team. And I'm very aware of that. First, it's the director and their vision, and because they make us like that, the entire team makes us. What you see on screen is, of course, my love and my hard work, but it's also a huge team that makes me do what I do and presents me in that way. And which is why I'm so grateful for the people that I've worked with, who have really challenged me, but also really taught me and loved me. And I hope that I can keep learning, because an artist should be a child and should keep learning. So I always want to be that. I want to stay grounded and keep learning.
Very nice. And personally, that you may skip this answer, like if I may ask the question, that audience and the people who love Aditi, some people, they express like it is their concern, and some people, they are envious about the other guy who is next to Aditi, and they are waiting, like what Aditi is going to formalize the relation, what they tend to, or getting to see them in a social media, you dancing with Siddharth.
The thing is, I always feel people, audiences, and at least in my experience, they always want the best for us, and they will always send us their blessings. As actors, I feel, whether it's me or anybody else, and I think their interest in what we are doing in our personal lives is because they love us so much. But I feel, our personal space, I'm speaking as an actor, and I'm speaking only for myself. Personal space is personal for a reason. But when the heart feels strongly about something, then one goes out and, very much like a lot of the girls that I have played, stands by it. And I think that's something that the audiences should trust and know about me, and I will always sort of love them, and I will always share whatever I can with them.
All said and done, we want best for you.
Thank
and
you.
Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
And be bold, and be like what you are, and we hope all the best.
Thank you. That means
comes
a lot.
to your life. Yep. Thank you so much for being with us, and all
Thank
the very
you.
best for Taj. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hope you all enjoyed dazzling and beautiful Aditi Rao Hydari about Taj and lot more. Thank you for watching.